Is Trump's new green card memo making it harder for immigrants to become citizens? Let's find out. I'm Paige from MWEG, and each week we pick a news story to practice some media literacy basics. Today, we're looking at a podcast clip from the show Here and Now on National Public Radio. The clip is titled Immigration Lawyers Report Chaos Over Trump's New Green Card Rules and discusses U.S. citizenship and Immigration Service's new rules that will require people who want to apply for green cards to do so from outside the U.S.
A new rule announced by the Trump administration last Friday says people will need to apply for a green card from abroad. It's not clear if they have to stay there for the entire process. That includes people married to U.S. citizens, holders of work and student visas, refugees, and asylum seekers.
Before this change to the rules, many immigrants were able to apply for green cards while already living in the U.S. First, let's stop. This report mentions causing chaos, which is a really strong word. So let's take some time to find out more about this story. But let's learn more about NPR. A quick search on Media Bias Fact Check shows that this source is left-center biased with high factual reporting. We will also learn that this source sometimes uses loaded words to favor liberal causes. Now, let's find more coverage on this story. An article from the Wall Street Journal says under the new policy, only people who proved they have extraordinary circumstances will be able to apply for a green card within the U.S. Most would have to go to a U.S. consulate outside of the country to apply, and in doing so will risk any legal status they already hold. This will especially affect people who are living in the U.S. illegally, but gain legal status through marriage or sponsorship through children who are U.S. citizens. This article states that if an immigrant without legal status leaves the country, they could face anywhere from 3-year to lifetime ban on returning. Conversely, an article from ABC News reports that the Department of Homeland Security is saying most immigrants won't need to leave the U.S. while applying for a green card, and that this is causing confusion within the immigrant and legal communities. The American Immigration Council corroborates this, saying that the new memo will be run on a case-by-case basis, implying that many immigrants will still be able to remain in the U.S. while applying for green cards. Lawyers are still concerned about immigrants who are currently in the process of receiving a green card and how this new memo will affect them. There remain unanswered questions for these concerns. Finally, let's trace this information back to the original source. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services released an official statement on May 22nd explaining that the new policy will require immigrants seeking adjustment of status to do so through consular processing via the Department of State outside the country. Only in extraordinary circumstances may the applicant be allowed to apply within the U.S., and decisions will be made on a case-by-case basis. This validates previous articles that have said immigrants may have a more difficult time applying for a green card. The press release also gives information on those who are currently in the process of receiving a green card, which is a concern for immigrant advocates. The statement says the rule change is in line with current laws, which it says have been ignored for years, and that a non-citizen's temporary stay in the U.S. should not be the start of their green card application process. So, is it true that Trump's new green card memo makes it harder for immigrants to become citizens? Based on the DHS press release and several articles, the process for receiving a green card is likely changing for at least some immigrants who may have to leave the country to apply. We currently do not know what this new policy means for those currently in the process of receiving a green card. However, it seems likely the rule change will complicate the efforts of those who seek a green card in the future. For more media literacy content, subscribe to our free weekly news roundup.